Hey everyone out there, Jamie Gleason from Capture. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Initiatives, and I'm here to share the final video here on flipping the script when it comes to early app generation. So let's just review here. We've talked about changing the travel budget into digital campaigns. We've talked about understanding the significance of source leads and how to convert them. And now what we're going to talk about is this last topic of being online. It seems like for a long time, for weeks, everyone has been talking, studies have been done, surveys have been done. I've been looking at my kids' screen time reports about how much time everyone is spending online. And then honestly, students, both college and high school students, have been kind of caught in this game of ping pong, right? On campus, off campus, hybrid, online. Like, it's just this crazy, interesting, weird mix. And now we're starting to see campuses that are moving to a more online platform for the fall. And unfortunately, what this means is that this online education and this time in front of the screen is going to keep going. It's going to go on, and it really is going to have an impact on how students are acting every day. More sedentary, they're going to be more in front of the screen like I am right now. But this doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? For those of you who are out there and you're trying to gain brand presence, this is an opportunity for you to look at your digital strategy, for you to take a look at your website. So let's make a first things first recommendation list that you need to be going through this fall in order to make sure that you're not going to lose out on the fall 21 activity that you need. So it probably goes without saying that if you haven't audited your website in the past, say 4 to 5 months, since the pandemic kind of kicked off in late March, then you need to do that. I was in a phone call earlier today, and it cannot be reinforced enough that your website is the proverbial front door to your institution. And I feel like I said that maybe 5 years ago, but oh my goodness, it takes such a different meaning when you have when you have limited campus visits, when you have limited exposure on the road. I mean, this is essentially the first and sometimes the last resources that students are going to go to, and families are going to go to, and influencers are going to go to. So it's time that we're adapting to what's going on, and if you have not audited, then you need to. So here are the things that you think to probably need to look at. Calls to action. Make sure that you're looking at I love this kind of millennial term of relevance. You need to be making sure that you're relevant, that your architecture even is fitting into the questions that people have. Overall, obviously we want to have lots of learn more, lots of visit, and lots of apply now call to action, but that's not it, especially now. I mean, we have to consider items like campus safety, check out this virtual online process. Even if you have tools where you can virtually engage with ambassadors and other enrollment professionals, those need to be calls to action that are prevalent on your page, because again, this is the only mechanism that you in your institution might have to get at a student or at an influencer or both. So now that we've done that, now that you've heard my stern warning about making sure that your website is audited, let's take a look at how do you pivot your website in order to harness those leads. Remember, let's not forget, and this paints the whole context here, is that traffic is going to be up. You should see higher amounts of traffic onto your website, and if you don't, probably something is wrong. And it could be one of two things. One, either your analytics are broken, or you're not pushing enough traffic to your website via digital. So more on that on the first video that I shot, or in the video about lead generation and digital. But essentially the goal here is to turn your website into actionable data. That is the goal of your website, especially where we are right now. Serve up some surveys. I know that everyone's surveyed out, and these long ones, especially that are coming out, are just overwhelming. But there is a a critical nature to a survey that helps you understand what your audience is thinking, and it also is a very interesting way to build rapport and trust in order to be a gateway for lead generation. So we can't shortchange this. Little things like, if let's just take an example. If you're on a parent-heavy URL that has to do with campus safety, popping up a survey in front of that audience that says, hey, what is the thing that is most concerning to you right now in this age? Or what is in the next 3 weeks, what are the decisions that you're trying to make? Really what we're trying to do is understand what parents are thinking, what students are feeling, what are the struggles that they're facing, the hurdles, and all that kind of stuff. Capture's Engage product has this, my favorite tool, Progressive ID surveys, where we can put out emoji surveys, we can put out multiple choice surveys with triggered responses, and they're just really interesting and critical when it comes to understanding your audience. Now, before I don't want to take too long on this video, so the second one that I want to put up there is a straight up micro form. We call them Progressive ID forms, but just picture this. You're sitting on, you're on your website and you've got your normal kind of, I call it the couch potato RFI page. It's a little link over here that says, click here for more information, or fill this form out so that we can put you on our mailing list. And it's always sitting there, stagnant, in the corner, waiting for someone to go to it. Critical difference here. The forms that we like to use at Capture are the proactive forms. They're the CrossFit instructor, the personal trainer that kind of follow the student, follow the anonymous user to where they are and say, hey, we're interested in you. Give us some more information so that we can give you what you're looking for, so that we can help answer your questions, so that we can take a proactive approach to gaining your application, gaining your enrollment, gaining your trust, all those kind of things. Now, these forms can show up differently on different URLs. We can program them all sorts of different ways. We can make prerequisites so that if they haven't visited the application, then the form won't show up. All sorts of these things. But without fail, a form that shows up in front of you is about 100 times better than one that's just sitting there on the couch, the couch potato RFI form, as I like to call it. It shows up, it's engaging you, and it's forcing you to say, hey, I'm either going to click the X on the top or I'm going to fill it out. And a lot of times what we see is that students fill it out. In fact, we get so many organic inquiries. In average, it seems like the students on our partners pages who are filling these out, a lot of times 70 to 80% of them are not in the CRM already. So it is a huge source for lead generation, basically just off the people who are already on your website. So it's capitalizing on what's already there, and there's no creation for it. So here's the truth. The future's here when it comes to the digital presence, and your digital presence, and your website really matters. No longer are the old tools, the old message, the older calls to action adequate to hook and consistently engage the audience. We are in an age of personalization, and we're all used to it. We expect more. We want the website to do this, and I guess the question I have for you is, how is your website delivering on that, and how is it giving you actionable data? So hopefully these 3 videos have been helpful. What I'd love to do is even be more helpful. So if you are interested in any of the topics that I've talked about in the last 3 videos, please hit us up on the website at the Contact Us page, and we would love to show you a little bit more about what we can do for you and your institution at this ultra critical time. Until next time, my name is Jamie Gleason, and I'm yours from Capture.